Hi there guys, DCRS HERO here, and today I'll be doing a discussion video on Tournament Pack 6 OTS. That sounded reversed. OTS Tournament Pack 6, that's right. That's coming out on December 7th, if that's correct, in the American type of date format. I don't know, it's weird compared to us in the Australia and stuff because we're not used to American dates. Anyway, OTS Tournament Pack 6 contains cards that are, well, the usual stuff that Konami usually reprints as meta-worthy in a way. What I mean by meta-worthy is cards that meta decks usually use, popular in the tournament scene, and they usually find stuff that needs to get reprinted or hasn't been reprinted in a long time, and usually printed in these tournament packs. At least that's what they're kind of doing in the OTS now. They've been doing it for, I don't know, the last two OTSs, I think. I can't remember. But yeah, those were the last one. The last one we had like Ghost Ogre and all those type of interesting cards like the Venus and the Shine Balls and other stuff as well. Like I'll show you right now. Like for example, Ghost Ogre, Zodiac. That was Whiptail. That was popular during the Zodiac format. Terraforming, Doggeron, Fairy Tale Snow, Spiral Quick Fix. That's a card that needed to get a rarity bump because they're trying to hollow out, I guess, the Spiral stuff. Zodiac Ram, another Zodiac card. Ancient Key Golem. I don't know why that got reprint, but I guess it's a hard card to get. That's why they aim at certain stuff in the casual market, also in as well as the meta market as well, that people usually find interesting and they just reprint it. Swing of Memories, don't know why they got reprinted. This is a OTS Tournament Pack 5 if you haven't figured that out. Lost Wind, True Dragon Apocalypse, Snake Yashin, Ferrolimp, Miss Shine Ball Venus, Katakage, Tin Goldfish, Scapegoat, Fairy Tale Luna, Rose, Spectre, Dun, Absolute Zero, Element Hero, Absolute Zero, I should say, Scapegoat instead of Scapegoat there. So they're both Scapegoat reprinted. Chain Summoning, Secret Village of Spellcaster Grave, of Super Ancient Organisms. Now, the reason why I put that out for the OTS Tournament Pack 5 is because that Konami likes to, as I explained before, pick cards that are from either tournament packs that are popular during the tournament formats, and also pick cards that are from meta-worthy and also OTS-worthy. Now, I've put up a list that I will show you in a minute that explains certain cards that might be in this pack, that might actually come up in the OTS Tournament Pack 6. This is just speculation, but we know that these cards are confirmed. Brilliant Fusion, well, that's the only card that's got confirmed. But as for the spoil upgrades to popular themes like Paleozoic, Windwitch, Trickstar, can all be found here, and also Sora cards that many decks can use. Now, for Paleozoics, that's kind of tricky because there's a whole bunch of Paleozoic stuff, and they might. Here's what Konami might do: they might pick out cards like 1 to 2 of that theme of Paleozoic, and just hasn't got a foil upgrade yet. So, but what it means by foil upgrade is cards that are either common or rare, and they haven't got an actual foil like super rare or higher. So Paleozoic cards there are actually quite a lot. So they might pick out 2 of the most important cards. I think. Well, here's my speculation when I'm actually going to make the video. For the pick out of the choices I'll show you on my program that I will gladly show in a second. Windwitch cards. There's only one Windwitch card that actually hasn't got a foil reprint. Well, hasn't got a foil print yet, and that's also another Trickstar card that also hasn't got a foil card reprint yet. So these are cards that might potentially be in it. Who knows? But it says foil upgrade, so Konami kind of gave us a hint of what they will be giving us for a reprint. So here's a list I came up with that might potentially get a full upgrade, or in this case, get a reprint in general. So here's my list. For Ulti, we know that Brilliant Fusion is going to get a reprint. Now here's an interesting speculation that people have been going around with. Ghost Reaper might be actually getting an ulti reprint. If they're following the theme of what they've been doing in the last one from the last set, so OTS Tournament Pack 5, Ghost Ogre, they might actually reprint Ghost Reaper as an ulti. That would look pretty good actually as an ulti. Now that I think about it, so that's going to be amazing. Now the only card that hasn't got a reprint, hasn't got a print, I should say, as a hollow form or foil form, I should say, is Trickstar Lilybell. All the other Trickstar cards have got either a super or ultra or even a secret printing. So Trickstar Lilybell is a likely candidate to be a ultra. Sorry, not ultra. Wow, if only they print ultras in this. Supers, sorry. Super, and also potentially it could come out as an ulti. That would look kind of weird as an ulti, but I don't think Konami will print as an ulti because it's most likely to get a super reprint. I don't know why I keep thinking about ultra. I think about ultis as well, but it might get a super reprint. Here's also another card that hint that they said that many sort of cards that many decks can use. It would be Disturbance Strategy. Now this card hasn't got a reprint in a while. The last reprint it got was in a Duelist League set, and Duelist League cards are really hard to get. And if Konami is going to potentially reprint a card, I think that Disturbance Strategy for Trickstars is a likely choice because they choose cards that are in the current tournament or likely tournaments in a way that need a reprint of certain cards, which they sort out in a way. So Disturbance Strategy might get either a common reprint again as a text update as a common, or a text update reprint as a super rare, because I don't think this card has got a super rare print yet, and this card will look actually amazing as a super rare reprint, so this card is likely going to be a potential choice. Now for Spiral cards, since they've been following a trend for last set for the Spiral cards, I think these cards in particular, Drone, Tough, Mission Assault, Recapture, and Rescue, and Last Resort, these 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 cards, most likely Drone is the most likely candidate. Oh, I keep saying most likely, but hear me out. Drone is potentially going to be the likely candidate for getting a super reprint like it did for what's the card called? The Spiral card. Oh no, I forgot the name. Quick Fix, that's it. Quick Fix is got a reprint as a super rare, so likely Drone is going to get a reprint, or they might potentially give Assault or Rescue, since Rescue and Drone are the likely choices that have been played in the OCG, and also the DCG. This card not that much people play one or two of, but these two cards, Rescue and Drone, are gonna be probably most likely Drone is gonna have a super reprint. Also, they might reprint Rescue as a super as well. Who knows? Because from what they did in the last OTS, they reprinted cards that are actually from two of this archetype or set. Because this is interesting. Because yeah, they reprint cards normally in doubles, but this is what I think is going to get a likely reprint in a way as a super rare. Now the only card we haven't got as a super reprint is a Talia. Oh, sorry, Sleeper. I've been reading OCG name. Sleeper is the only one that hasn't got a super reprint yet. So Sleeper might get a reprint as a super rare. That's the only one that is out of the Fairy Tale cards that hasn't got a super reprint as of yet. Snow and the other card got a super reprint, so this is the only one that hasn't got a super reprint as of yet. Now they followed the theme of the kaijus that have came out in the last two sets. So these are the last four cards that are getting a super reprint. Potentially, the other one was a common reprint. It was a text update. I can't remember. It was a machine type of one as well. So that one got a text update. But these ones are mostly likely to get a reprint. Probably the most likely candidate to get a reprint is going to be this card, Radiant. Radiant's probably going to get a likely candidate for a super reprint. But if Konami's going to do a multi reprint type of thing, it's probably going to be Raiden and also a Doggerin. These two cards are potentially going to be the next super reprints, as this one is most likely going to be a more lure target reprint. This one is a wind type of target in a way, because wind monsters are are actually kind of popular at the moment. So these two ones are probably going to get a reprint. I think this one's getting a reprint as in the legendary decks dragons. I'm not too sure. I can't remember, but these two cards are likely to be reprinted in the next OTS one next year. That's what I think. And now for the Paleozoics, these four cards are likely going to get a reprint because they've announced that Paleozoics are going to get a reprint. So, in my opinion, the likely choice of getting reprints as a super foil upgrade, or they might do something very, very sneaky. They will probably reprint all these four as super rares. I doubt it, but the most that we've seen that have got a reprint or more than one type of reprint as a archetype based is the last set. So if they're going to follow this trend, they might reprint 3 cards instead of 2, but that's just speculation that I picked up. So these 2 cards, All Notice and Dynamiscus, probably Dynamiscus is the most likely choice, but they might print these 2 cards, or they might print the Book of Moon one, but that one's not as popular. But these are mostly played as Frios in the deck, and this one's mostly played 2 to 3 depending on the deck. So Marella might be, it could get a reprint as in terms of the, I don't know, cards that are potentially going to be in speculation for the Spyro cards, like Rescue, but I doubt it. So these 2 cards, or these 3 cards, might potentially get a super reprint in a way. Now, on to the other cards that might get reprints. Goblinberg, if they're following the hero reprint type of cards like Absolute Zero and Team Goldfish and all that, those were cards that are used in heroes. Now, if they're following trend for that for reprints in the OTS scene, Goblinberg is likely going to be at, I think, a super reprint, because this card hasn't got a super reprint at all. It's only the highest rarity that it has gotten is a Starfoil. And now, if they're going to do the smart thing, they will print as a super rare. So I think that's going to be a super reprint slot. And also Dracuelo. This card's got a reprint. This card needs to get a reprint. It's so expensive, and Konami doesn't like reprinting cards that. Sorry, doesn't like cards that have most expensive printing or hard card to get. So Abuelo is probably going to common reprint in as a dinosaur type of support. Machine duplication is probably going to get let's see, it got a common reprint, so it might get another super reprint just to lower down the current Legendary Collection Yugi World super rare reprint, because this card's hard to get. Seriously, as a holo card, it's really hard to get. So they might reprint this card as a super rare. This card, Cyber Dark Impact, you know how much this card costs? It's pretty expensive as a holo, so, or, I don't think, let's see, I don't think this card has got a reprint at all. So this card might get a reprint as a common or a super rare, because this card is really hard to get. As for other stuff that I've seen tournament plays, Emergency Teleport, I guess to support Cosmos and also the World Chalice as well. That's another card that might get a reprint. Another card is Card Demise. Now this card's a bit tricky because everyone's speculating that this card is potentially going to get hit or getting a reprint, because this card hasn't got touched at all, and this card supports decks that are anti-meta and also cards that require draw power in a way. This card is also used in True Draco Demise as well, so potentially this card might get a super downgrade, and also potentially, I don't think it might, but it might get a common reprint as well. Yes, a common reprint. So the Ultra one might go up even more or potentially go down depending, but this card might get a reprint as a super or a common. That's my speculation. Don't judge me on it. It might get a reprint, might not, depending. But if it does get a reprint at all, that's fine. Well, not fine at all, but it's a swag card, so Konami doesn't like to keep things as a high dollar maintenance card. Well, high dollar maintenance? A high dollar investment card. So they're probably going to reprint this just to lower down the card's costs. At least that's what I think. Now, the only card that hasn't got reprint yet, as for the main deck wise, is Monarch Stormforth. Now, this card has gotten a common reprint and a gold reprint. This card should potentially come out as a super reprint, hopefully. Maybe, I don't know, it depends. I think Monarch Stormforth might get either a super reprint or a ulti reprint. that's an interesting card if it does get reprint as an ulti, but Konami doesn't like to reprint cards as ultis if it's only like a one-off because they prefer to give cards that are unlimited at the moment. So I think this card's most likely going to be a super reprint instead of a common reprint. Now the other Winwich cards that might get a full upgrade is this is the only card that hasn't got an upgrade yet, and it's Winterbell. Winterbell is probably gonna get a reprint as a super rare. Other cards that might potentially fall in this category is Crystal Bell. This card might get a super reprint as well. No one plays this at all unless you're playing pure Winwich, then yeah, or win cards in general. So this card might get a reprint as well. Seraphonite is also a sought out card. This card might get a common reprint or a super reprint, depending. We don't know yet, but if they're following the Gemini Fusion, a Brilliant Fusion play, then Seraphonite is going to follow in that line. Probably either going to be a super or an ulti, or a common. I don't know, it's weird because this card got a super. This card was originally released as a super, so they might just reprint as a super again, or release it as a common, or in fact an ulti. But I think this card's most likely going to get a common reprint, as this card's really hard to get, and Konami likes to print cards that are hard to get in common form and super form, depending. Nigeria Beast is also a likely candidate to get a super or a common reprint. Ulti would be interesting because, well, you only play one of this, and they don't like to print cards that have only like one. You only use one, so it's probably just gonna get a super or a common reprint. At least that's what I speculate to be. And last but not least, for the extra deck, Utopia. Utopia is kind of weird because they might just reprint this as a common because no one's thinking about Utopia in a way. And since Lightning got a reprint in OTS 4, they might just reprint Utopia as a super or a common. You can easily get this in a star deck, so I'd see that Utopia might get a reprint as a common. That's what I speculate to be. But these 4 Paleozoic cards aren't going to be likely candidates because they're not swag cards, and Konami's probably going to just going to reprint these in later sets. But as of now, I think these 4 Paleozoic cards are going to have a likely candidate to get super. Not this card. This card's a bit weird, but if they do reprint as a super, I don't mind that. But these 2 cards are the most played in Paleozoics. This card, 2 to 3-Os. This card mostly runs in 3-Os, but since targeting is a bit weird, this format, it's mostly likely going to be these 3 cards. But yeah, this is just my speculation on the OTS Tournament Pack 6. But yeah, hope you guys enjoyed this video. Please rate, comment, subscribe. Sorry, I've been mumbling a lot on this. It's just the first take. And also, I wanted to get this out as quickly as possible because I haven't made that many videos in a while. So yeah, this is DCRS HERO, signing out. Bye.